So, hey there, folks. Haven't seen you in a while. Been out, been busy. Took a trip to New Orleans, did all sorts of fun stuff, ate my way across the city, as one does. But I thought I'd check in with you a little bit. And this is going to sound a little Karen-ish, but just bear with me on this. So last year I bought a printer from, it's an HP 9130E or something to that effect. So it's an HP printer because my old one finally died, right? And I, at the time, bought replacement ink cartridges because you run out, right? And you want to have it right there. I didn't realize at the time I did not buy genuine HP. I didn't find out until I ran out of a yellow ink. So I put in my new printer cartridge, and I get an error message. And you know what that error message is? That this cartridge does not have the identifying chip. So now the ink cartridges that were already really expensive have an identifying chip so that you can't use anything else other than HP's ink. Obviously I wasn't happy, but needs must, so I went to order more. I needed one replacement yellow for the one that I had already run out of, plus a new one, plus all the others, like, the giant frickin' black brick that you need, plus the cyan and the magenta. That came up to $380, I believe, $370, I believe. Needless to say, I was not happy. But I want to make this comparison here for you. That's a car payment. That's part, if not all, of an insurance payment for maybe a single person who's younger. That is a grocery bill. That is a utility bill. That is a month's worth of gas for your car. That's an insurance payment for your car. For ink. So when people say that the immigrant is the enemy, I have to kind of laugh at the fact that the billionaires in this world have convinced you that the immigrants are the ones that are the enemy, not the people who are taking money from you, giving you no choice but to pay an inordinate amount of money, or worse yet, pay a subscription for something you used to be able to buy and keep forever and ever. A monthly subscription, $10, $15 a month, so that you can use your Adobe Acrobat or your Microsoft Word or your QuickBooks or your Excel or your anything. But yeah, it's the immigrants who are the problem. Who are the real criminals here? I keep thinking about this, and it's unbelievable what we have been conditioned to accept as normal. We don't like it, but there's nothing we can do about it, so whatever, right? We've been told that immigrants are the problem over and over and over again. And, just for clarity's sake, I'm not for open borders or anything like that. It seems like whenever you speak on the side of an immigrant, it must mean that you are for open borders and you want criminals around. But that's another thing that we've gotten inured to, right? The marketing ploy there is that if, immigrants, criminals, we want to get rid of all the criminals in the United States, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, and that sounds really reasonable, right? Who doesn't? Who does not want to get rid of criminals? I mean, that's really reasonable. All of us do, except for, of course, the criminals themselves, like, the felon in the White House, the guy who's named a bunch of times in the Epstein files, I don't know, people like our Department of Defense head who has multiple DV accusations and all of this other stuff, but let's put that aside. The fact of the matter is, the last I saw, and the numbers could be different now, but there were less than 20%, as far as I know, of all immigrants in the United States have criminal records, first and foremost. Secondly, if somebody is in this country illegally, it's not a felony. It is a misdemeanor, and they get deported, and that's it. The normalcy now is that they get rounded up, held without the ability to talk to an attorney, talk to their families, get medical care at all, which, by the way, our actual criminals get when they're in prison, which you and I pay for, by the way. They get treated like animals, the immigrants, that is, that are in these detention centers, read concentration camps, because that's what they are. They're given maybe a cup of water a day. They're underfed. That poor little boy, Liam, that picture that you may have seen of that little boy that's in that adorable little, blue bunny hat and all of that, he's now really sick and he's not getting any care. And all of this is normalized. The sexual assault that the women in there, and probably children are in there, are enduring, that's being suppressed or normalized. Well, they deserve it. They shouldn't have been here in the first place. Really? Really? That's the hill you're going to die on? That people, real life human beings, deserve to be sexually assaulted? They deserve to be killed in ICE custody for what? Let's set aside the shootings that have happened recently of Good and Preddy, and I believe there's been another one or two since. There have been people who have been dying in ICE custody, all of which is preventable. ICE has now, I saw something earlier today that was posted by a man who was posted in Afghanistan, who former military, who started taking apart one of the pictures of all of the equipment that ICE has, and said that his unit in Afghanistan had requested much of these improvements on their weaponry and was denied. But ICE has them, and those things are not cheap. They're getting a $50,000 sign-on bonus, only if they stay for 5 years and everything, but if you look at, the 4 people that were kneeling on top of Preddy, all of the people that you see in each and every one of these apprehension videos that are ubiquitous here now, it's costing us a ton of money. But we can't have universal Medicare? If we took everything that was funded for ICE right now and put it into universal Medicare for all of us would have medical insurance, which is another thing that has gotten normalized. People having to use a GoFundMe for cancer treatment. For those of you who are Christian who say, well, yeah, you should have to do it. It's normal. Jesus didn't say that. It's crazy. He said, heal the sick, heal the lame, didn't ask for insurance, all of that, but here you are, normalizing something that's really, truly inhumane and inhuman. I'm not going to rant about this anymore, but I'll say it again. The immigrant is not the enemy. The person who is usually really, really kind, usually here to make a better life for their family, just like the rest of us want to do. They're not the ones. It's the billionaires and multi-billionaires who are doing nothing more than gathering more and more and more wealth for themselves. if you took away 3/4 of their wealth, they would still have millions to live on. The immigrant is not the enemy.